That took me a minute. I spaced out. Admittedly, I did space out for a second there. I was like, I think I'm supposed to be doing something right now. But it's like, you know, it's late. It's too many late streams this week. Too many late streams. My brain's not working at the same capacity anymore. Hello! Hello there, energetic wave. I'm so used to like just being motionless while streaming. It's kind of weird being able to like move my hands around right now. So you guys can see this. Look at this. Hold on, I can do this. It's like the absolute cinema pose, kind of, sort of. Yeah. I was like trying to get everything into the perfect position, make sure everything is pristine, good to go, so that I can answer all of your burning questions today. Specifically about fitness, though. But also I'll give like basic knowledge and other stuff too, you know, like a little bit of everything in there. Little bit of everything. Oh wait, hold on. I forgot. Something important. Let me unmute my alerts. Or unmuted. I mean, they were muted from yesterday, but now they don't need to be silenced anymore. It's like turning off your phone at a movie theater, pretty much. Why do you want to know how much I deadlift? This isn't about me. This is about you and you and you and you and you. I am here to grant you guys my wisdom in the world of fitness. I don't know what to do with my hands. It's pretty evident that I'm not Italian. But if I were, I guess I'll just simulate being one today. I gotta be engaged. But like not like the marriage engaged, but like, you know, like, yeah. I'm not gonna do any. Oh, okay, hold on. Let me just explain this from the get-go. I here today, me, horse lady, I am your fitness instructor. Pretend that this is like a fitness session. I'm about to run you guys through all the basics. This is important for passing your course in order to become a proper horse soldier. If you fail, you have to repeat a year. You have to repeat your grade, pretty much. When in doubt, jazz hands. Just smile and wave. Smile and wave. There we go. That's simple. Alright. I will start from the beginning. So usually the first thing that people want to know, right, is fitness. Where do I go to do it? Gyms. Do I go to the Planet Fitness? Is the Planet Fitness in our solar system? Many important questions, right? But the thing you have to consider is you don't necessarily need to start at a gym. We're all at different levels of fitness, right? Some of us are like, you know, able to open a jar of pickles, no problem. Some of us struggle to do a push-up. It's like, I've been there too. I've been there, so I understand. So, generally speaking, at least I was like really embarrassed to go to a gym at first because I was like not very good. So, what I did was, I did calisthenics. Now, I hate calisthenics. Calisthenics are body weight exercises, for those of you who do not know. It's when you do, like, push-ups and... Well, you're not going to be doing a pull-up without training. Pull-ups are kind of hard, in my opinion. You need to get things like resistance bands. So, important starter. If you can't do a push-up, get resistance bands because that'll make it easier to adjust your body to the motion so that you're able to do a push-up. But in the scope of looking for a gym, now they all have different equipment available there. So, you know, some people want 24-hour gyms. I would personally recommend looking for a 24-hour gym because then, you know, you can fit it into your schedule a lot easier. And another thing, the amount of time you spend working out. You do not need to immediately cut out an hour every day from your schedule. You could start out with like 15 minutes a day that you set aside before something else to be able to, you know, work your way up into a routine. Something that happens a lot that people run into is they will try to go to the gym, they'll hype themselves up, they'll go for like one day, and then they'll get like really intense muscle soreness. Now, that's due to lactic acid buildup. That is the result of not working out at all over a span of time. Your body has to like move that stuff away. So the first few times you work out are going to be super painful. The first few times you utilize a muscle group that you haven't used in a while is going to be painful. So you have to work through that pain and realize it's not going to hurt that much every time. But also at the same time, the fact that it hurts at all means that you are making an improvement. But there's a difference between muscle soreness and like a sharp pain. If you're feeling a sharp pain, you are probably not doing something right. You might actually be in danger of hurting yourself, so you should probably take it a little bit easy, you know, reevaluate a little, take a step back, and then a step forward, because there you are, ready to work out again. Now, if you are encountering motivation issues, difficulty getting yourself to go to the gym, I have a life hack to you. There is a life hack. Now, it depends on your caffeine tolerance, it depends on your body. Some people can't take pre-workout, but if you can, there's something in pre-workout called beta-alanine. Now what this does is it makes it feel like there is electricity running through your body, and the only way to get rid of it's like, well, I guess it could also be described as like worms crawling under your skin, like wriggling around. But, you know, that general feeling. The only way to get rid of it is by getting up and start moving. So it's a good way to force yourself to go to the gym, because you take it, right? I would advise, like, you know, little dosage at first, like half of a scoop, maybe, and see what your tolerance is and how much that affects you. You don't want to do too much too fast, because, like, some pre-workout has, like, a ton of caffeine in it, so it's better to err on the side of caution and moderation. Also, make sure you don't take it on an empty stomach. You want to have some food in your system. And also, please do not do intense cardio while under the influence of pre-workout, because it has a high degree of caffeine, and if you start running with all that in your system, you will actually probably hurt yourself. Please don't do that. I'm sorry if I'm going really fast, by the way. There's like a lot of stuff to cover, and I'm kind of yapping a little bit. I don't have any particular pre-workout recommendations. I think the one I started with was like C4. Yeah, I think C4 is pretty good. There's like a lower dosage caffeine beginner workout kind of one, you know, in there somewhere. How many scoops should you take at a time? Please start with a half scoop. Don't do a lot. You don't want to hurt yourself. You don't want to hurt yourself. What do you eat before a workout? So I've talked to a nutritionist about this before, because I was kind of curious too. She said, you could just do like a light snack or something. I feel like it's better to wait until after you've worked out, because, I forget exactly why, but there's some issues if you have like a full meal and then immediately go and try to work out. So you ideally want to wait like at least like 30 minutes to an hour, I would say, after eating to go work out. I would personally recommend that. I'm not a health professional person though. Is just cardio okay if you're trying to lose a bit of weight? Cardio is okay, but the reason why I would personally recommend fitting some sort of weightlifting into your routine is because here are some important facts. 1, weightlifting burns more calories than cardio does. Also, by putting that muscle on, you're gonna actively be burning more calories. It's like the way the body works. It's more muscle is good. It helps you get to where you want to be, and also you'll get visible results faster if there's muscle there, because then it's like the fat burns away, and then under it, it's like, bam, muscle, you know? So, yeah. But then there are some people who are like, well, I want to burn calories, but I don't want to weightlift because then I'll be like super beefy and stuff. Well, here's the important thing to consider. Now, if you want to maintain a certain physique, if you want to more so be toned instead of having like rippling muscles that are like super big and scary, then what you want to do is you want to do endurance lifting. Now, endurance lifting is lower, it's a lower weight, but it's higher reps. So it'd be like little dumbbell, like rapidly, instead of like big barbell doing overhead presses. I'm not good at putting this into words, but you get the point. You get the point. So strength training is like, if you have higher weights and lower reps, then you're gonna build muscle volume and have like short bursts of strength more so than like functional strength is what I like to call it. When you do endurance lifting, you get muscle that you can like, you lift heavy objects for a long period of time, but strength is like bigger objects, like a really fat dog or something, and you lift it for a shorter burst of time. You have an unironic question. You're really bad at push-ups and you want to max out on push-ups. What do? You have to, okay, so if you're trying to improve something like that, I would recommend, well, first of all, you want to make sure your form is good. Now, see, a lot of the times when we try to do things quickly, we start sacrificing form, and if you're not doing the movement correctly, then you're not going to get the most out of the exercise. You're kind of just wasting your time, right? So you want to make sure your form is good, and then it's just a matter of repetition, because at that point, you're utilizing the muscles over and over again. You're gaining more muscles, but also your body is getting acclimated to the motions itself, so it helps a lot. That's why, like, sometimes you see like super strong dudes who can't really do like a lot of body weight exercise because their body isn't really acclimated to that sort of thing. They have a lot of strength, but it might not be the strength for that particular motion, if that makes sense. Reps until failure is a good method. However, you need to be cautious about not overloading your body. You want to make sure that you're using a weight that you're capable of controlling. Like, especially if you don't have somebody there with you, if you like drop the weight on yourself or something. That's why I personally would recommend starting out with endurance lifting, because you're making sure that it's a weight that's like, the weight shouldn't be the thing that's tiring you out. It should be the amount of reps that's tiring you out, if that makes sense. So it's like the repeated motion is what's making you exhausted, not, you know, oh, this is heavy, so it's tough, I guess. Endurance lifting is just many reps of lower weight. Strength is high weight, low reps. That's a good way to classify them. It's a good way to look at it. What else? So yeah, if you want to burn calories, then I would advise a little bit of both weightlifting as well as cardio. Now, cardio is really important in the sense that, like, well, everybody knows cardiovascular health is important, right? It's like a fundamental understanding that we all have to some capacity. So you want to make sure to take good care of your body and get some cardio in your routine. Even if you're like me and prefer strength training and you feel like a hamster running around in circles when you do cardio. Me personally, I hate cardio, but I still try to fit it in there. But I prefer weightlifting by far. It's just more engaging to me. Don't be like one of those crazy people too who does like running around with no music. Please exercise with music or you will be judged. But like if you're able to do it without, like, power to you. That's awesome. That's try to do a thumbs up. Here, wait. Didn't work very well. What's my routine? No. This isn't about me. But, however, I will explain this. When you're building a routine, the most common type of weightlifting routine, I would say, is push-pull legs. Push is gonna be chest and bicep, I believe. Pull is gonna be tricep and back, and then legs is legs. But you also want to do like supplemental exercises for other things, like other muscle groups. Because you have your major and your minor muscle groups, right? You want to build a sort of routine that encompasses both. Oh yeah, shoulders as well. Don't skip out on your shoulders. But also, you want core workouts too. Strong core is important. Be sure to do those crunches. Well, crunches actually aren't very helpful. Wait, no, sit-ups aren't very helpful. Crunches are pretty helpful. There's a lot that goes into this. There's a lot that goes into this! Don't neglect shoulders, because then you'll be able to do overhead things better. Also, wait, hold on. This is another important fact. So, when you're trying to go up in weight with, like, dumbbells or something, be sure to do wrist exercises, because it's possible to strain your wrist muscles and hurt them if you try to move up in weight too quickly. Your biceps might be able to handle it, but then, like, if your wrist gets injured, wrist injuries take a while to recover from. and they're really painful at the same time, so you want to be careful. Or you can be like one of those dudes that wears like wrist straps and make sure you have some sort of stability there, because that's like one of the most common injuries, I think, is wrist injuries. Yeah, wrist takes forever to heal from. It's not worth it, man. It sets you back so far, and getting back in the gym and having to like catch up to where you were before can be kind of depressing, so gotta be careful about it. Look, don't say I didn't warn you. I will say another thing I want to cover is setting goals, right? So here you are, bright-eyed young horse soldier wanting to get into the gym, but you don't know what your goal is. You don't know how you're gonna get there. You don't know anything. You're just eager to go, and that's fine. It's okay to work out without a goal, but having some sort of vague idea in mind of like what kind of physique you're going for, or how many pounds you're trying to lose, or anything like that, you know, it's like probably a good idea to have. I think it'll help in terms of maintaining motivation to have a clear sense of direction. And then once you reach that, then, you know, you can kind of like go from there and start building upon it, expanding upon it. The best way to continue going to the gym is, well, I will say, what a lot of people experience after going for a while is like, it feels weird not to go. You get like a motivation to go every day. It becomes a habit. Once the gym becomes a habit, then you know you're in a good place, because it's like something you look forward to, something that provides you with energy. If you work out like first thing in the morning, it'll help give you energy throughout the day. But also some people work out before bed too, which is totally fine. It can also make some people tired. That's like, depends on the individual, honestly. Wouldn't advise taking pre-workout and working out before bed though. That might not be a good idea. Tomoe, according to the Institute of Human Anatomy, interval-based cardio helps to work out the heart better than normal steady state. I would like to know your opinion on that. That is true, that if you're doing short bursts of running, like, you know, like sprint and then rest and then sprint, then you're gonna get better at sprinting. And also, your heart range is in a higher place than if you do, like, steady state cardio. There's a certain range, I think it's like 120 to like 160 or so, where you're doing like, I guess it's like the fat burning range kind of. Whereas like, you know, above that, it's more so like, you're just trying to work on your endurance more so. Pretty sure that's how that works, but kind of like that in-between zone is like a really good place to be for like most of your cardio needs. You don't have to worry about it so much when it comes to weightlifting. I don't really track my heart rate when I'm doing weightlifting, but when I'm doing cardio, it's important to monitor, both for like making sure you're not pushing yourself too far, but also to make sure you're in that ideal range where you're getting the most out of it and pushing yourself at least just enough to know that you're like making progress there. And over time, your heart will slowly adapt to the motions and stuff, so you'll be able to run faster while maintaining a steadier heart rate, basically. Any tips about climbing stairs? It's gonna hurt your legs. If you want to get better at climbing stairs, I guess do more leg exercises, because you're mostly engaging your leg muscles in there. There's a lot of different ways to work out legs though. You got calf exercises, you got like leg lifts, leg presses, all that sort of stuff. There's a lot of machines in the gym that are really good for legs, to be honest. Like, mostly for legs I do machine exercises. I will admit, I don't do the big three very often, which is deadlifting, benching, and squatting. I don't know why I blanked out on that. But that's just because I don't do strength training, so I don't have much advice with that, except just make sure you don't hurt yourself and make sure you're monitoring your form really closely if you want to get better at that sort of thing. You have a hard time doing stair climbers because your fear of height makes your heart rate go crazy? Isn't stair climbers, most of them aren't that high though, right? They're like, I don't know how many steps they are off the ground normally. I've only seen them like 10 steps, unless you got different ones, but honestly, sometimes I just have like music that I'm like focusing on and going through the motions, but yeah, I would say just try to distract yourself. You don't want to be like Okay, so here's my advice for when you're in the gym, you want half of your brain to be on the exercise, because the best way to get something out of the exercise is by focusing on the muscle group you're engaging. A lot of compound exercises, which are, to say, exercises that involve a lot of different muscle groups, are going to, you know, sometimes you'll like subconsciously like put more effort into a certain part of the muscle, like the one that you're not focusing on, basically. So you want to make sure that you're only engaging the muscles that you mean to for the exercise. So it's like mind muscle memory is what it's called, and it's really crucial to getting it right. It also just, I don't know, it helps you lock in better. Not half brain, full brain? No, because you have to listen to music, otherwise the pain becomes overwhelming. It's crippling. It's tough. But also, like, you know, just one more rep, I guess. What are my thoughts on ellipticals? I think ellipticals are actually pretty good cardio, to be honest. They're good because you're engaging more aspects of your body as well. So I'm pretty sure. I've looked into it before because I wanted to see if like the bike method or ellipticals or treadmill or stairs what was the best machine in the gym for cardio. Basically, I was trying to figure that out, and I think elliptical is actually pretty up there. Bike is not, it's kind of like mid. Oh, rowing as well. Rowing is also a good source of cardio if you're doing that. Well, there's like weighted rowing, and then there's like the rowing machine. It's like it's a whole thing. If you've been in the gym, you know what I'm talking about. This horse is on to something. That's right, no music is hard mode IRL. Can you play sports rather than going to the gym? Yes, sports are a great way to remain fit and active. I don't know much about sports, so I can't give a lot of advice about that. Is it okay to combine leg and arm day together? It depends on how you define arm day, because I feel like biceps and triceps, those are two different important muscle groups, so I would never do biceps and triceps in the same day. I wouldn't, because I want to focus on, like, I don't know, I just prefer doing push-pull legs, even at this point. Planking is good for core stability, I would say. I don't do too many planks. If you want good ab workouts in general, like calisthenics-wise, I'm personally a fan of bicycle crunches. I think those are pretty beneficial. And it's good for your obliques. And then there's like certain types of like leg raises you can do if you have a bench at the gym, which are also really good. You can do like reverse crunches. I think, yeah, leg raises and reverse crunches are really good for ab workouts. Also, yes, breathing rhythm is also an important part of working out. You want to exhale at the top of the motion. It's gonna feel weird until you get used to it, because it kind of feels like you should breathe in, but you're actually supposed to breathe out, and then when you're coming down from the peak of the motion, then you breathe in. This will help make sure you exert yourself to the fullest, but also you need to make sure that you're getting a good amount of oxygen flow through your body as you're working out. Tips for improving stamina. My best advice for stamina is just to do more endurance-related stuff, whether it be longer periods of cardio or just more reps with your lifting with the lighter weights. That's pretty much the only way you can really improve your stamina, to be honest. Is that why you get dizzy? That might also be like, I mean, make sure you have adequate nutrition, make sure you're hydrated, and make sure you get enough sleep. When you're active and trying to get gains, you want at least 5 hours of sleep a night. This is to ensure that you're getting proper muscle repair, and I don't know, it's just the recommended as far as I remember, but I'm pretty sure it's at least 5. You don't want to toe the line there, otherwise your gains are at stake. And you don't want to lose your gains. You don't want your gains to be damaged. And in that aspect, there's another piece of advice I can give, which is be sure to not overdo it. And by that, I mean, don't try to do, like, okay, so say you did like a full day of bicep exercises just using that muscle group as an example. Don't go in the next day and then immediately do it again. I think the average rest period that you want to wait between working out the muscle group intensely again is about 48 hours. That's the best amount of time to allow the muscle to repair after being broken down. So basically, when you're working towards the... Okay, when you're exercising to the point where your muscles are sore the next day, you are tearing your muscles, and then you need to supplement it with sleep, water, protein. Big things there. In order to ensure that it rebuilds stronger than before. That is how you work on building more and more muscle over time. So also make sure you're getting adequate protein in your diet. There are different calculations for how much protein you should have per body weight, so it really depends on the individual. You can't go wrong by just having a bunch of chicken and rice. That's usually what I hear anyway. But as for the specifics, I forget how much most people recommend. If you look it up, you'll get different answers. So really, I just advise protein. Very good. Very good, yes. What other advice did I want? Let's see. Okay, so another important thing is diet. Diet is important because it doesn't matter if you're putting your heart and soul into lifting if you don't take care of your body, what you put into it. Probably the best way I can advise to cut down calories in a healthy manner without literally starving yourself or doing any fancy dieting like cutting and bulking. I'm sure you guys have at least heard of those before, which is like very complicated. I don't like micromanaging my diet, but something you can do to kind of help things a little bit is, one, be careful about what you drink, in the sense that a lot of drinks have a lot of calories in them. More than you would think, actually. A lot of them have, like, a lot of calories. So, cutting down on drinks other than, like, maybe, like, water, coffee, I guess, is okay. Coffee is... I can't go without coffee, so I'd say water and coffee. But yeah, sodas, you don't want to have sodas. You don't want to have juices. You don't want to have... stuff like that. And maybe like in small amounts, like occasionally, but you don't want it to be like a daily thing, because that's going to be like getting your calories up there every day without you even realizing it. Those are stealth calories right there. So yeah, sugar is... there's a lot of sugar in drinks and a lot of calories in drinks. So you want to try and minimize those sorts of drinks, and you also want to try and reduce your diet down to like natural sugars as well, which is like fruits and stuff, but also some fruits have a lot of sugar. Like for example, you don't want to have too many grapes. I think apples have a lot of natural sugar in them as well. So yeah, you gotta be careful about that. But you know, fruit is at least healthier than like some of the more complicated stuff. My opinion on diet sodas, there's still stuff in diet sodas that's not good for you, so you can have it occasionally, but I wouldn't make it like a daily thing. If you want to have something to treat yourself that tastes nice, then find like some sort of like protein shake recipe maybe that like suits your fancy. You can put like protein powder in it and maybe like a couple of like fruits or vegetables that you enjoy, and have that after your workout, and that'll kind of like motivate you to get through your workout so you can have that. That's like your little reward, right? You know, reward for yourself, and also you know that it's helping you because it's helping you get the nutrients you need and not like negatively impacting your gains or your diet. So I would personally advise that. As for like the very nitty-gritty specific micromanagement parts of your diet, like, to be honest, I don't really like focus about it that much. I guess just be careful. Try to get healthy snacks. I personally like having like mixes of like almonds and other stuff, because almonds are very healthy for you. It's like, I mean, they're high in calories, but they're also like just good, and they're filling. It's like, it's good. I don't know. I like almonds. If you're having trouble getting a nice amount of water in every day, then I would personally advise drink mixes. Not like your high sugar ones, but you can get flavor water mixes that are like really low calorie, and like add a little bit into your water, and that tastes like juice. So, you know, if you are worried about, you know, not having juice in your diet anymore, well, you can just get those flavored water mixes and add those in. I've never had a problem with them. They last for a good amount of time, especially if you're only adding a little bit in. And it's a great way to make sure that you're properly staying hydrated throughout the day. Just make sure you rinse out your water bottle thoroughly afterwards so that you don't start growing mold in it. Especially if you're in a place that grows mold very aggressively. Be careful about that. That's my advice there for that. I mean, hey, it's not everybody's cup of tea. There's a lot you can add to your water, though, to make it taste better. Maybe if not fruit juice mixes, then other things as well. I just prefer that because I'm like a big fruit fan. I'm a fruit fanatic. Liquid calories are just as bad as solid calories, I'm pretty sure. I would say all calories affect your body the same way. I mean, if you think about what a calorie is. I know there's like small, minute differences, but in the grand scheme of things, we're trying to look at this from a simple standpoint. Because when you start overloading yourself with like different things you need to manage, that's why I'm telling you, like, don't worry about micromanaging your diet to an extreme degree when you're getting into fitness, because then you're not going to want to like do all this stuff. It's like too much all at once to manage. Because do you really want to sit there and go, oh man, I need to make sure that I'm looking at the amount of calories I'm having at this time of day. Also, I need to drink all this water that I'm not used to drinking. I also have to go to the gym at this exact time. If you try to do all of that at once, you're going to get overwhelmed. And you're not going to want to go to the gym anymore. So, like, I would say, you know, start somewhere humble and then, like, build on to those good habits over time. Don't just go from 0 to 100 and expect it all to work out, because that's, like, that's doing too much. At least for me, in my opinion. Maybe you guys are built different. Maybe you can handle it and not get overwhelmed. But that's my personal advice on that. Let's see. What else? So, another important thing here is establishing a baseline. So, maybe you don't know where to start. Like, you don't know what you can lift, you don't know what exercises you can do, you don't even know anything about any exercises. You're totally clueless. You get into the gym, you see all this gear, this equipment, and you're like, what? So, the first thing you want to do, aside from like kind of figuring out what kind of split you want to do. So for beginners, I always say push-pull legs. And then you want to have an idea of how many exercises you want to do. Typically, I usually do about 6 or 7 exercises in a given gym session personally, which is a mixture of compound exercises and then isolated exercises too. But you want a lot of compound exercises because it's working out your main muscle group, but also like supplementary muscle groups as well. So for push-pull legs, each of them obviously has a focus, but by doing compound, you're not putting so much on that specific muscle, and you're also working out other things at the same time. So building a routine with that sort of thing in mind is important. And then you're probably wondering, well, Tomoe, I don't know how much of this I can lift. Where do I start? Well, you want to like start light and work your way up, right? Because then you can figure out where your baseline level of strength is. You're not going to be able to curl the same amount that you can, what is a good example? If you're doing like tricep exercises, then maybe you can do more bicep exercises than tricep exercises. It's hard to explain, but for some exercises I'll use like a 5-pound dumbbell, and then for others I'll use like, well, I haven't used 5 pounds in a while, but say it's like 10 pounds and then another I use 20 because it's like more, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I hope that makes sense though. It just depends on the exercise you're doing. But once you figure out how much you can handle for a particular exercise, like once you have your weight level baseline, it makes it easier when you're trying out other exercises for the first time, because you have like a better understanding of how your body works and your limitations and how not to cripplingly hurt yourself. Also, when you're starting out, there's a lot of, most gyms have, incremental weights, especially in the lower levels, where it's like they have 2.5 pound dumbbells sometimes, they have 5 pounds, they have 7.5, 10. It's okay to work yourself up from like that level. That's a good place to start at. It's like, it's better to err on the side of caution, and then over time, I would say you can like slowly add the amount of reps. Like the way I do my routines is, say I have 1 week where I'm doing 5 pounds of an exercise for 3 sets and 10 reps. That's an example. And then next week I'll do 5 pounds, 3 sets, 12 reps. And then the next week I'll do 5 pounds, 3 sets, 15 reps. And then usually there's like a peak point I get to where I'll go from like 5 to 18 or 15 to 18 or 15 or 18 to 20. And then at that point where I'm able to like do 5 pounds, 3 sets, 20 reps, then I'll move up to like 7.5 pounds, 3 sets, 12 reps or something. I don't know. I hope that makes sense. It's like you want to take it in steps, basically. And then each week you're adding on more and more to like all of your routine and kind of just slowly building up this muscle over time without overdoing it. The reason why you don't want to go up too quickly is because you have to keep in mind for those given days you're working out the muscles in other ways as well. Like, you know, maybe you're only raising it by like 2 reps per set for one exercise, but then you're doing it for another as well, and over time that's gonna put more strain on that muscle, more than you would think actually. So yeah, you just have to kind of like vibe check yourself and figure out what you can handle. And you know, it's easier for dudes because dudes put on muscle faster. It's easier for you guys. You have like testosterone and stuff more than women do, because obviously we all have both, but like it's easier for you to put on muscle. But still, be careful. Don't ego lift. Be careful. Take care of yourself. Well, hopefully that'll make sense. For those of you who do not know how sets and reps work, as well as rest time in between. So, sets are the... I don't explain this. Okay, reps is obviously repetitions, the amount of times you're doing the exercise without taking any breaks, just like straight up like benching. Or, this isn't a benching motion, but you get the point. Benching is like, I don't even think I could do it's more like benching. So that's the amount of times you're doing it. Sets is the cycles. Like you do 10 and that's one set, and then you do 10 and that's a second set, and then you do 10 and that's a third set. The rest period in between is typically anywhere from like, I usually do around like 30 to 45 seconds, but it depends, cause like sometimes I guess when people do higher weights and lower reps, they like to do shorter rest intervals. But it's good to have like a watch on you or something so you can kind of like monitor the amount of time you're spending in between. Because by doing those back-to-back sets, you're kind of like both, well, you give your muscles time to rest, which is like important for muscular endurance, but also you're continuously engaging it, which is important as well. So it's about taking as much time as you need to like for your muscles to kind of like breathe a little bit so that you can do those again. Because usually by the end of the set, you're gonna feel like you can't do another rep. Like you can't possibly lift anymore. But then after like 45 seconds, you're good again. It's like, oh, I can do it. I can do it all over again. Obviously, it gets harder as you go, but you know. Also, yes, height weight recommendation is important too, but also I don't trust like BMI and stuff, because when you start putting on more muscle, it throws your BMI off. So BMI is like a rough estimation of, you know, like where you should be. Obviously, you want to get to a healthy weight, but the easiest way to tell if you're at a healthy weight is like a physical examination. You look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, damn, you're doing good. Visual aid is important. Just gotta like check yourself. I don't know, taking progress photos is a really good idea. Even if it's like once a month, see where you're at, see what's changed, if anything. Another important thing, Okay, so let's say you've been at the gym for a couple weeks, you know, you've gotten used to your routine. What do you want to do then, right? Because you're not getting as sore anymore, you know, you're acclimated to it. You're in the motions. You want to change your routine. You want to do different exercises that are working out the same muscle groups. So basically, like, engage the same muscles, but in a different way, because by doing that, you're kind of like switching your body, you're tricking your body into like putting more, it helps push yourself more basically, because as I mentioned earlier, the actual motion is something that your body gets used to, so you might not be getting the most out of your exercise if you're using the same routine over and over again. So it's good to alternate between to make sure that you're engaging your muscles in different ways. Yes, that way everything works out. I don't change my routine too often though. I do it like probably like every 6 to 8 weeks is when I change my routine, and then I like cycle between like 2 routines usually, or it just depends. Like someday I want to do kettlebell focus exercises, someday I want to do barbell exercises, some days I want to do dumbbell exercises. So it's kind of like whatever. Linear progression for the first few months. Yeah, it's really, you don't need to worry about switching up your routine for a while, because if you've not worked out much, or you know, you're just trying to like figure out where you're at, get to like a healthy baseline level, you don't need to worry about switching it up. Your body is just trying to keep up with what you're doing to it. If you're going from like stationary to active like all at once, then it's like, don't sweat the details. That's just something to worry about later. I'm trying to keep this relatively simple. I'm sorry if I'm getting ahead of myself. There's just so much to think about, but also like when you're new, you don't need to worry about it too much. It's just mostly making sure that you're like staying healthy by making better choices, whether it be smaller ones, like making sure you get at least 5 hours of sleep, or drinking more throughout the day. Because then there's things like supplements too, where it's like, there's a lot of supplements. If you go to like a GNC or a Walmart, or I don't know if Walmart sells supplements to be honest, but say you have a GNC on your base or wherever else, and there's like creatine and pre-workout and random vitamins that make you stronger. Well, not really, they're just supplements, really, like supplementary nutrients and stuff like that. But there's other things in there too, obviously. So there's different types of creatine. There's like creatine mono, and then there's like, I forgot what the other one is called, but there's like 2 main types, I think. I wouldn't advise taking creatine as a beginner. Creatine is basically something that like kind of helps you like push yourself a little more, but it's like hard on your kidneys, so make sure you're drinking a little bit of extra water when you're on creatine. It can be beneficial, it is that extra little push, but like drink an extra bottle of water every day. I think it's like 8 to 16 ounces more than you would normally have if you're taking creatine. So I personally really like creatine, but don't worry about that until later. Don't you even fret. It's not like steroids or anything. It's nothing crazy like that. Yeah, a lot of extra water. Be good to your body. Don't get dehydrated. Don't get old and withered like me. Well, I'm not old or withered, but you get the point. Yeah, creatine makes your 5 rep max into 6 reps. I love creatine. I personally love it, but I would not recommend it to somebody starting out because, as I said earlier, if you have too much at once, like when you're starting out, like if you're trying to micromanage your diet and then, you know, figure out how to build a routine from scratch and then raising the amount of water you have and getting more protein in and all that stuff, then it's like, it's a lot to manage all at once, so baby steps. Motivation! Just do the life hack. Take pre-workout, a half scoop of pre-workout, or get enough beta-alanine in your system to where you have to go to the gym. Force yourself to go to the gym by putting the worms under your skin, and yeah, then they send you over there. That's how it works. It's unironically a really good way to force yourself to go to the gym as a beginner. I'm gonna be honest, it's really great. By the way, another important thing, if you want to do strength and cardio in the same day, the same routine, I would advise doing strength before cardio, because that way you're making sure that the bulk of your energy is going towards strength. Because if you try to do cardio before you do strength, then you're going to have less energy to hit your maxes and work on making the increases that you want to make. So, me personally, I would say strength first, then cardio. Not because I like strength more, but there's actual logic to it. I never sleep and never nap, while the same face I am always found taking away with little sound. Why are you putting riddles up there? I don't know! I don't know the answer. I'm not sure on that one. I'm not really good with riddles. My brain is full of like protein and horse sounds and stuff. Anyway, let's see. What else do I need to go over? Alright, so another important thing. I'm on a roll right now. So a lot of people are anxious about going to the gym when they're starting out. So you can bring a friend with you, a companion of sorts, just not grabbing someone random off the street, but if you have like a buddy, then you can go with them, and it kind of makes it less intimidating, because some people are worried like, oh, you know, people in the gym are staring at me, or what if they notice that I'm like fumbling right now? What am I supposed to do? What am I gonna do? Well, for starters, most people probably aren't paying attention to you. At least like when I'm at the gym, I kind of like tune other people out, because I'm like locked into what I'm doing. But also, usually when people get approached at the gym, it's to like, make sure that you're not hurting yourself. Like, if you look like you're about to hurt yourself, you might have someone come up and say, hey, don't do that. Your form is really bad. You know, like, if it's like egregiously bad, then maybe they'll say something, but no one's gonna be there judging you. Because the fact that you're going at all and working on yourself is like something to be proud of. Like, maybe you're super out of shape and struggling, but like, you're there, so you're obviously trying to take care of yourself. There's nothing to judge anyone there for, in my opinion. I have nothing but respect for people who even find the will to go to the gym. Because some days I don't even want to go to the gym. It's hard, man. It's hard to find time. It's hard to get the energy. That's why I personally like going first thing in the morning, because that's when I have the most energy, and I start going through the motions without even thinking about it. And then I'm like, oh, well, if I just go to the gym, then I can eat lunch afterwards, and it'll be, really great, yeah! It's not too bad, but take a friend with you if you're nervous, and maybe, like, help each other out, like, learn off of each other, steal their knowledge, tap into the hive mind, really figure out what you're doing, and then you guys can maybe start going at different times. Me personally, I don't like working out with other people because I space out a lot, and also, like, I don't know, I just go at my own hours and I kind of do my own thing, so I've never really been like a workout buddy. But it's kind of cool, like, you'll run into the same people at the gym, and it's like a reoccurring character in your life, but like on a side story type of thing, you know? It's really awesome. Home gyms are really good, but I don't have home gym type of money, so yeah, I don't know. Kidnapping random people and taking them to the gym is the only way to play. It builds character. It builds criminals! That's not legal! I would strongly advise against kidnapping. Although, who knows, maybe you're helping them find a new passion in their life in the form of lifting. I feel like home gyms, it's really hard to make a home gym that's as beneficial as like an actual full-size gym. But if you live close to a gym, maybe there's no reason to have a home gym. Unless you like really hate people, like you cannot stand to be around people. Like, you are the water and the people is your oil, and you just don't mix it all, basically. Like, then maybe at that point I would say probably avoid gyms, but you might have other issues to worry about as well. If it's that bad. If the introversion is that bad, you might have more to worry about. Let's see. What else? I feel like I've covered a lot of the basics pretty effectively. I'm like looking at my notes here because I wanted to make sure I covered everything at least a little bit. Bodyweight training is the best way to start out. Bodyweight training as well as like lower weight exercise equipment. Like I personally would recommend bodyweight and dumbbells. I guess kettlebells too, but I never really touched kettlebells when I was starting out. I just hit like the 5-pound dumbbell curls and I was like in the zone. I'm like, I'm gonna be strong one day, it's okay. It took a while, but you know. Kettlebells are like they're like built like this. And like they have like the thing there and then they have like the one handle. That's how they're shaped. And then you like grab them and usually do lifts like that. That's a kettlebell. Barbells are like the really long ones with the things on the end. Yeah. And then dumbbells are the short, stubby little guys, and you usually do like curls or there's a lot of exercises you can do with them, honestly. That's why I like dumbbells, because they're fun. I don't use medicine balls or any of that other stuff. I'm not quite that fancy, unfortunately. If you guys have any questions, now is the best time to ask. I've gone over all my essentials, so yeah. Kettle requires a certain level of grip strength and coordination compared to regular dumbbells. That is true, but also, like I said before, before you move up in dumbbell weight, especially when you get past like, I actually don't know what the average would be for guys, but eventually it's gonna start hurting your wrist trying to do curls and stuff. I think the highest I've ever curled with dumbbells is 35. But even then I eventually was like, maybe I don't want to curl 35s, and then I just stuck to like 25s for a while. Swimming is really good for cardio. At least that's what I've heard. I'm not a strong swimmer, so you know. I do use machines, mostly for leg day. But also like sometimes for like overhead presses and stuff. It depends, because sometimes it just gives you really good stability, especially when you're working with higher level weights. But also, I think it's definitely the best for legs, because you can do like calf raises and hit muscle groups really well. Especially leg presses, man. Incline leg presses, very good, very amazing. Yes, machines are safer for overhead presses and stuff. That is a good way to put it. Cause like, you know, when you're trying to overhead press the bar and stuff, it can get really awkward, and you can get like the, you know, when your arms are like shaking violently. Yeah, it's not comfortable. It's really not comfortable. Okay. What other questions do you guys have? Ask and you shall receive. Do you think genetics is overused as an excuse? I do think genetics makes people predisposed to like certain things. Like obviously we all have different physiques and stuff. Like that goes without saying, but I think if you take good care of your body, both in terms of diet and exercise, then you should be okay. Like it's always possible to bounce back, unless there's like genetic conditions out there that make it like impossible. But I've never heard of any that make it outright impossible. There's probably at least one out there, but for the most part I would say it's always something that we have the power to do. Maybe your metabolism isn't the fastest ever, but with enough effort and dedication and training, you can get to where you need to be. How do you flirt respectfully at the gym? You should not flirt at the gym. I don't know if this is a controversial opinion, but I don't think the gym is an appropriate place to hit on people, personally. I wouldn't recommend it. It's cause everyone's just there to work on themselves, right? I mean, I know you've probably seen videos of like those women doing like the attention TikToks or whatever. Like those aren't people that we want in the gym. We want the gym to be a place where everyone can like focus on themselves and lock in on themselves and You know, just work on yourself. Don't worry about the other people around you, and don't try to, like, hit on people. I don't know. I don't think it's appropriate at all. It's no good. It's not good. Are any websites or other sources you went to learn about what you wanted and how to do it? I learned through a combination of looking at YouTube videos for specific exercises I wanted to do. But when I was first starting out and wanted to figure out like general exercises for like certain muscle groups, you can look up websites in general, just on Google, like list of exercises for this muscle group. And you'll get like a list and it'll help show you what muscles that's particularly hitting. Especially in Google Images, it has like diagrams and stuff that have like, it shows in red what muscles that those are focused on. So I think that's really good for building a routine, especially when you're starting out. Alright, next question. Next question. What are good exercises for when you don't have equipment? You want to focus on body weight exercises then at that point, because that will help you build a baseline without having to worry about equipment or not. And even without equipment, you can still get pretty fit just through calisthenics alone. So, you know, sometimes your body is the best equipment out there, or something motivational like that. What's a good time for a consistent jog? Well, I'm not super cardio knowledgeable. I would mostly just say try to maintain that 120 to 160-ish heart range. If you're getting stuck in that heart range and you're keeping a good pace, then you're probably okay. I wish I could give better advice. I feel like a failure of a horse. I'm a failure of a horse. I can't do it. I can't give super specific cardio advice. Have I ever tried strongman, like log presses or atlas stones? I've never done anything like that. No, I just do endurance lifting, so I can't be that strong. I did enter like one of those base weightlifting competitions once, and I got like, I think I got like 3rd or 4th place, but that was a few years ago. That was a while ago. It's really fun though. It's really fun. It wasn't meant to be like, oh, I think I'm better than everyone else. It's more so, oh, I'm free today, and I kind of want to see like what everyone's doing out here. I think that's when I ended up deadlifting for the first time. And I was like, wow, this is surprisingly easy. This isn't bad. Because like, I think my first time deadlifting, I did about 190, which I thought was pretty good at the time because I wasn't used to it, so it's just like, I don't know how much I can handle, so we'll take this carefully. Even if you naturally can't run, there are other methods of cardio like swimming and biking and stairs and ellipticals. Yep, rowing as well. All I can make my ears go in circles. Gym advice, don't bench press by yourself. You can bench press by yourself, but just make sure it's not like a weight you can't control. Usually if I'm bench pressing by myself, I'll just do like a little bit higher than the bar's weight, and then I'll just vibe. Cause like I know even if I drop it on myself somehow, some way, magically, it's not gonna hurt. Or at least it's not gonna hurt that much. Just gotta be careful with it. Gotta know your limitations. Yeah. The form for it is complicated. Well, to be fair, I had people like on standby there making sure that I wasn't gonna hurt myself. They were like ready to like stop me if I did anything crazy. Trying to get into daily biking, any advice on motivating yourself? Pretend a lion is chasing you. I actually don't know how to bike, I'm gonna be honest. I never learned that life skill. But good way to motivate yourself. I guess it's probably the same advice I would do for gym motivation, which is like maybe have like a nice snack at the end or something. Just like integrate it into your routine in a way that's like unobtrusive, like at a point in your day that you consistently tend to have free time, whether it be like straight in the morning, which is ideal, preferably not right before bed, because in my opinion, when you try to lift or do exercise right before bed, you're gonna feel reasonably tired. You know, like, oh, I don't want to do it, I don't have any energy. Oh, hi there! Wait, hold on. Proper wave. Hello! I'm Tomoe Umari. I am currently a fitness instructor at Umarmy Health. I need a good name for a fitness brand. This is for those trying to beat their inner demons and lift just one more rep. Yeah. Thank you. It's nice to see you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Fitness instructor. English is my first language, but I'm still bad at it. And I think that's it's par for the horse, man. That's just how it is. American fitness. Can I flex? I don't know if I can. Does this count as flexing? Yeah, I need a fitness company name. Like Lifetime Horse Health. Or Planet Horse Fitness. It's probably like a copyright thing in there somewhere. Give us your hot take on CrossFit. So, let me give you some good gym advice. Alright, so when you're lifting things, you need to do it with your lower back with a twisting, jerking motion. And when you're doing CrossFit, you know, especially pull-ups, you want to kip. Now, kipping is like, you know, when you're just barely getting up there. Like, you're half-assing the movement. Pardon my language, but you're half-assing the movement in order to get the most out of it, you know? You really just want to... You want to, like, wow everybody around you. Not like a, oh, wow, what is she doing? But, like, wow, why is she doing this type of wow, you know? So that's, best advice I can give on CrossFit. Basically, don't do it. It's really bad. It's really bad. I do not believe in CrossFit. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. CrossFit isn't good! Nobody does CrossFit. The only people I've ever seen do CrossFit consistently is like groups of like Facebook groups of moms and stuff. It's like, it's all moms on Facebook doing it. But, you know, yeah, CrossFit is just like practicing different ways to exercise with really bad form and seeing how long it takes for something to go wrong. That's the best way I would describe it. Don't worry, guys. One day I'll give you real-time exercise lessons, like the guided lessons where I'll actually like do the movements with full body 3D tracking. Unfortunately, due to budget cuts and the fact that when I tried to buy full body 3D tracking, my card got declined somehow. I don't know what happened, but yeah, I don't have full 3D tracking yet. We'll get there eventually. Do I do yoga? No! I do not do yoga. I've heard it's very calming though. I've heard it's really good for balancing your chakra or I don't know. Is it like stretching? I don't know what it's actually doing for you. Maybe if you're really limber, it's relaxing or something. I don't know. I can't give good advice on yoga. Just like lay a mat out and stare at the birds or something in the local park. Are there any meals I'd recommend for post-workout? Because by the time you finish your workout, you haven't had lunch yet, and the gym you go to has plenty of options, good and bad. Near when you started, I didn't feel hungry. Okay, so you want something balanced. You want vegetables, a protein of some sort. I like chicken. I'm a big chicken fan. We love chicken in the chat. Thumbs up for chicken in the chat. And then something like rice as well. I think rice is much better than pasta in order to get like the... It has like the rice things in it. Rice is good for you. It's really good. So it's like a mixture of veggies and then also hitting that protein and then also like... Yeah, that's a pretty good basic meal, to be honest. Yeah. I don't know, I don't want to get into too much detail, but generally as long as you try to stick towards choices like that, you should be okay. Turkey is another really healthy meat if I remember correctly. It's got like healthy vibes to it, and it's pretty good at the same time, so. Turkey. Chicken is the most efficient protein. We love dry, unseasoned chicken breasts out here. Or at least the military taught me to love them. You know it's good chicken when you need a cup of water in order to actually eat your meal. Yes, turkey is very good. Ground turkey is very good. Do I like carrots? I do like carrots. Carrots are also good for you. What other fitness-related questions do you guys have? I will do my best to answer everything and anything as much as I can. What advice would you give if someone has tried to train so many times yet never was fully able to embrace it despite how much they want? When in doubt, pre-workout, beta-alanine. It really worked. That stuff really works. You wouldn't expect it to. There's a reason why I believe in it so much. It feels like cheating. It does, but it makes you get up and go to the gym. So yeah, do that. It's a good idea. It's the best way to get into the gym as a beginner because you have no other choice once you take it. Don't be like me though. The way I usually take supplements is I'll take a sip of water and then I'll like dump the whole scoop in my mouth. I don't even do it as a drink mix. I'm like a savage animal when it comes to that. It's as close as you can get to dry scooping without being a complete creature. Although a lot of people think I just dry scoop everything nowadays. No, I have some level of decency, okay? If there's that much powder, you don't want to like choke on a cloud of powder. It's efficient! It's the easiest way to get it done. Especially if you have like one powder that's like chocolate flavored and another is like fruit flavored. Then, you know, you don't want to like mix them into one drink, but you also don't want to sit there and have two separate drinks, right? So if you just take a sip of water, dump it in your mouth, and then go to the next one, and then you're done. It's like 1 minute at most, and then you're good to go. You outgrew pre-workout? Well, that means you're in a good place then. Pre-workout is like super beginner friendly though, when you're working on your motivation. And it's that little boost you need. It helps you out. And then eventually you find yourself into creatine and all those other funny little fancy supplements. I will say before you do any sort of supplements, be sure to do adequate research on it to see how it impacts your body in other ways, because you don't want to accidentally present like adverse effects. But also, I think taking too much creatine can like, your body naturally produces creatine, right? So it's kind of like the same issue with melatonin, to where you take too much of it and your body is just like, you know, it stops making it naturally, but I don't think that's as much of an issue with creatine as it is melatonin. People abuse melatonin a lot though, so yeah. Pre-workout makes you itchy. Yes, it's supposed to. That is what makes you go to the gym. You know, the way you get rid of that itchiness is by moving your body. Once you start lifting and stuff, once your body warms up, the itchiness goes away. Well, assuming you didn't like take too much, but that's why reduce your dosage a little bit if it's like overwhelmingly terrible itchiness. Yeah. Doesn't creatine make you retain water? Oh yeah, it does! That is another important fact. So, if you feel like your body is like squishier a little bit, creatine, it retains it. But it's also like, you need to have a lot more water too when you're on creatine. So, it's like a little bit of, I don't know, both ways there. As someone that's recovered from an injury, how do you know when to start working out again? Small weights are rough after a year off. I mean, the way I try to get back into it after a break. So I've had 2 bad gym injuries within like the past 5 years. I broke my hip, and I also strained my wrist. Now I will say the hip injury was obviously a lot worse because the military told me it was just a muscle strain, and then I kept lifting anyway, and somehow it worked out. It didn't get a lot worse. I don't know how that happened, but that was a weird time. They were like, oh, you know, we don't need to x-ray it, just walk it off, man. Just walk it off, you'll be fine. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, you're right, I'm probably just complaining for no reason. And then I kept walking on it, and they're like, wow, this is like the 3rd time you've come back here in the past couple of months. I guess we have to look into this now. and then they x-rayed it, and then they started panicking. But anyway, that's not the point. So the point is, if you're trying to get back into it after after an injury, I think what most physical therapists would recommend is just, well, for one, you obviously have to make sure you're stretching properly, and then like testing out the waters. So for example, for a hip injury like that, I had to do low impact cardio, which was like stuff like biking basically, which is like still getting the same amount of like cardio, like you're keeping your body engaged, you're going through cardio motions, but it's not like the impact of like your foot hitting the ground and then it sends like that shock through your body and it's like aggravating the injured area. So you want to kind of like try to modify the exercises in ways that will like accommodate your injury, if that makes sense. You're able to work out those muscles then, but not exert yourself in a way that's like bound to like re-aggravate the injury, if that makes sense. Yeah, that's kind of how you do that. Just take it slow, take it easy. You don't want to make things worse, but also you want to get somewhere, right? You want to go to the Temple of Iron, aka the gym, with your head held high and do your best. Alright! Next question. Background running is terrible. I only run on the trail, to be honest. I should probably do track running more, but it's nicer when you're running on soft ground, because that way it's like your body thanks you for it. They're like, yeah, good work, horse. Good work. You're really skinny and you've been working out consistently with home equipment. Anything special enough for maintaining your smaller frame while still growing muscle? And strength only visible when you flex. So do endurance lifting. When you do endurance lifting, you're more so toning your body and gaining practical strength. The only way you really have to worry about gaining like big, scary muscles and stuff and like increasing the size of your frame is if you're doing high weights and low reps. But if you're just trying to get toned, then you want to do cardio, calisthenics, and then low weight, high reps. So if you lift with those things in mind, then you should be able to meet your goals without increasing your visible muscle mass super big. Am I okay with pre-workout energy drinks like Celsius, C4, etc.? I've never really taken any of those energy drinks before working out. I only use powdered stuff, personally. I think the energy drink would work just as well, but like personally, when I wanted to take pre-workout for the first time, I just took a low dosage of C4 and I was like good to go with that. Also, when you're looking for things like protein powder and stuff, this is an important thing that I would recommend taking into account. There's different types of protein powder. There's whey protein and pea protein, namely. So whey protein is obviously one you guys are probably most familiar with because that's what a lot of brands mainly use. But pea protein is good if you're sensitive to lactose, in the sense that it like hurts your stomach or like it makes your skin break out a lot, because it actually does have that effect for a lot of people. Like you'll have bad breakouts if you take a lot of whey protein. So I would recommend switching to pea protein at that point because it has the same benefits. It's a plant-based protein. Usually maybe you'll have to take a little bit more to get the same amount of protein, but yeah, it's good to make sure that you're taking a protein powder that's tailored to your particular body and your needs and stuff. How do you stay more consistent in workouts? Right now you're considered obese and trying to get healthier by jump roping, but you can't seem to get yourself to do it consistently. Should you implement weight training? I would say yes. Weight training will help you burn more calories over time. It's just like it can be small weights or anything, really. I think that would be a good start, because then like you'll figure out where your baseline is and it'll kind of get easier. For a lot of people when they're starting out, I feel like doing some sort of weight training like that is easier than doing cardio. At least in my opinion. I don't know. Maybe I'm biased though, because I love weight training, so. That's what I would recommend. That's what I would recommend. You can't outwork a diet. That is true. It's a matter of diet as well as putting in the work to get at least a little bit of weight training done. I think weight training also makes it easier to get into body weight exercises. If you're in a place where it's really hard for you to do the basic body weight exercises. Like when I first started, could not do a push-up for the life of me, but that's when it's like you gotta work on the muscles incorporated with it. Like you gotta basically break your goal down into steps and then build from there. Because now I can do a lot of push-ups, but it took a while to get there. So that's a good place to look. Also, there are tools like resistance bands and stuff with push-ups in particular, or pull-ups and stuff. Why do push-ups hurt your shoulder sockets a lot? Pull-ups feel fine, but push-ups seem to hurt that shoulder joint. I would say maybe that's a matter of form, but also it's like, I guess you're engaging your shoulders at a different angle. Do you normally have shoulder problems? Cause there might be more to that, but there are probably shoulder exercises you could do to help, but I don't know about like hurting your sockets. That sounds kind of bad, actually. That's a little concerning. Rotary cuff? You think so? Also, hello! Thank you for the raid! Sorry, I was pondering a question. I was pondering an inquiry posed to me. I am Tomoe Umari, professional horse girl and temporary fitness coach for the America Horse Health Club Association place. Wherever we're at right now. Yes. Hello. Sounds like posture, sounds like form. I don't know, man. Some people's shoulders crack a lot. Ow. I can make my shoulder do that, but it's not a good idea to do. You gotta be careful. You gotta listen to your body, even if your body tells you crazy stuff sometimes. Should your back hurt during push-ups and sit-ups? No! How is that possible? Be sure to keep a straight back when you're doing, push-ups. Yeah. I don't know why it would hurt during sit-ups, though. Your core should be the thing that's engaged there. It's like, you know, you're rolling yourself up into, like, yeah. I'm trying to visualize how that would happen. Oh, yeah! Let's get into stretching. So, before a workout, you want to do dynamic stretching. That's when you're doing, like, repetitive motions to, like, loosen up your muscles and stuff. So it's like, I don't know how to do this. I don't know an example like it, but if you're like going back and forth like this, where static stretching is what you do during cooldowns, it helps prevent muscle injury and helps get the lactic acid moving around and stuff. It makes it easier to recover faster, basically. You're holding a position. That's when you're doing like what you consider traditional stretching, like, yeah. when you're holding it or anything like that. Were you ever in Scouts or knew any growing up? I don't think so. No, I wasn't. Not me personally. Is lower back a part of your core? No! Don't neglect lower back, by the way. Lower back is engaged in a lot of different exercises and stuff, so you want to make sure you're taking care of your lower back, because usually when your form starts slipping, you'd be surprised by how many lower back injuries happen because of that. So yeah, be very careful. Just make sure your lower back is strong. Always focus on lower back just to make sure if I fumble, then I won't like injure myself terribly. Have an old lady back for the rest of my life. What's a good lower back exercise? Usually I use the machine at the gym. There's usually a lower back focused machine there. Otherwise it's kind of hard to hit with calisthenics, in my opinion. It's one of like those weird muscle groups that's like isolated in a place, but if you have a machine that can help you with that sort of stability, then it's really good. What's the time you should put between stretches before starting the actual workout? You don't really need to like space it out, honestly. You just need to like do those dynamic stretches to warm up, and then you're pretty much good to go. Just don't neglect stretching because it's like super duper critical for avoiding injuries and stuff. Underrated, I say. Underrated. Do I recommend any smart slash sport tracking devices like Apple Watch or Garmin? I mean, you can do that. It actually isn't a bad idea if you're someone like me who likes to stay organized. When I first got into fitness, I just kept a Google Doc of everything, like to remember what I did last week or the other day or anything like that, and then I used that knowledge and kept building upon it. But if you're doing like cardio tracking in particular, then it's really useful to have. A lot of, yeah, I mean, exercise is a science at the end of the day. You know, the more information you have, the easier it is to figure out what direction you need to go. And it's also makes it easier to track things like water intake, and then you get like at least a rough idea of how many calories you're burning. Because obviously it's not like a specific science, like, you know, the app can't perfectly predict everything that's going on in your body, even if it knows like your weight and your height, because you have to take into account other factors that are helping, like, you know, the amount of muscle mass you have and stuff like that. So, yeah. Best music genre to work out to. That's a matter of personal preference. You could do crazy lifting to like the cutest music ever, and no one's gonna know. That's between you and your earbuds, buddy. That's all you. You get to choose. Choose your own adventure in the gym. I mean, I personally don't tailor it to anything. I know some people lift out, like, they lift to hype music or something like that. And then there's some people who do, like, I don't know. I've met people who only lift while they're angry. Apparently that anger is their motivation and helps them get through it. Hey, you can lift to Miku if you want to. I've done it before. Yeah, probably don't blast your music out loud to others. Wear earbuds, be respectful of those around you. Or, okay, no, you could be the guy that shows up and, be the person that's loudly grunting above all other noise in the gym. Like, everybody's just minding their own business lifting, and they're in the corner just, like, screaming with every rep. But then you look over and they're only lifting, like, 5 pounds. Like, they're not actually exerting themselves. At least you don't think they are, but, like, they're definitely in the zone. Hey, screaming helps some people focus. It helps some people lock in. But it's really funny sometimes. Look, man, you gotta lift, like you're powering up in a shonen anime, basically. Yeah. 1, 2. Hey, look, whatever works, but just, you know, be mindful of those around you. That's all I ask. If you wanna scream your heart out in the gym, probably maybe go like during quieter hours of the day when there's less people around to witness it. If you can make them lose focus, they're not working out hard enough. You know what? That's a fair perspective. I never thought about it like that. Alright. What other questions you guys have? What inquiries do we have? I'll take a couple more and then we'll close it out for the day. It's so nice to be able to ramble about fitness. I haven't done this in a while. I haven't subjected you guys to my relative wealth of knowledge. I mean, I don't have expert knowledge by any means. I think I'm at like a weird intermediate level of information just from years of looking stuff up on the World Wide Web. Hopefully I'm not sitting here spreading misinformation or anything that's super outdated. It's like stuff like, I mean, I don't understand much about things like, what is it, SSRIs? That's like a supplement or something, right? Yeah, I don't know anything about that sort of stuff. I just know the bare basics. And then a little bit more than that. Should you stretch before your workout, but should you be stretching afterwards? Yes, do static stretches after and dynamic before. Stretching after is going to help you recover quickly. Also, if you're worried, it's SARMs. Yeah, SARMs. That's what I was thinking of. I got the wrong acronym. Like I said, that's an antidepressant. The gym is my antidepressant. No, but really, it does help. It does help. It makes like the voices in your head get quieter, and then it's like a bunch of happy times, and yeah. By the way, if you have an issue with muscle soreness, potassium helps a lot. You can eat stuff like bananas and it will help your body feel better. Not professional advice, just something I would personally recommend. Maybe, I guess, if you could have like a banana smoothie or something. Assuming you like the taste of banana. Not everybody does, you know, to each their own. To each their own. You have a bad knee that acts up during squats and you alleviate by shifting your weight a bit. It might be a form issue, which I'm learning to correct, but is there anything else to do? You should look into other sorts of exercises that engage the muscle groups you're helping to get. Because if you push the weight elsewhere too much, then it will ruin your form, which could cause like injury and other stuff. Being able to maintain proper form is important, but also there might be modifications you could look into for that exercise as well, actually. There are a lot more modifications they think of, which is like, a lot of them are used when people are either starting out or receiving physical therapy and stuff, where you want to work out the same muscle groups, but you don't want to like, die. Yeah! Outside of potassium, what else can help with muscle soreness? Protein and sleep, my disciple. Protein and sleep. Peanut butter and banana sandwiches? I have heard of this before, but I've never actually tried it. I'm in ad mode, I'm sorry! I'm an unskippable ad. That's what it's come down to. You just gotta work your way up. You just gotta get there. Baby steps until you reach your ultimate goal. Remember, if you ever feel overwhelmed at the gym or like you're making no progress at all, just break down things into steps. Try to identify your areas of weakness and confront them. Grab them and say, yeah, I can do this. Hype yourself up a little bit. Give yourself some credit for even going to the gym at all. And then try to find other ways to push yourself. Eventually you'll overcome your hurdles. There is a point where you reach, it's like a wall, right? I forget if there's like a technical term for it, but that's when you like are having trouble lifting anymore for like your particular weight and muscle mass and stuff like that, but you don't have to worry about that for a long time. Yeah, plateau, that's the term. Don't worry about plateauing for a long time. Ganbare Tomoe, thank you! Thank you very much. I hope this advice has been helpful to some of you guys at least. I need to go to the gym more this year. I've been out of it a bit for like the past couple of months because I've been trying to like catch up on everything. Life is very busy right now, considering I'm in college and the military and streamer and stuff. But there's always time to work out. I can't be a hypocrite. If I'm gonna motivate you guys, I gotta be motivated too. That's the beauty of it. It's all about doing your best and giving what time you can until things get better. And eventually you'll be back and do it in no time. Well, I think that about wraps up everything I wanted to cover. I hope all of your burning fitness questions have been answered and that you are now motivated and ready to go hit the gym and yeah, get to where you need to be. Was I in the military? I am active duty military. That's me. Yeah, I think that's about everything though. I can't think of anything else that I'm missing. Maybe like the little tidbits of details and stuff, but a lot of it's just about like doing your research and hyping yourself up. And I think honestly the hardest part starting out, aside from actually finding the motivation to go, is building your routine. I struggled with that the most when I was getting started because I didn't have like a fitness trainer or anything. I'm like, where do I start? Where is ground zero? How do I do this fitness thing? And then I googled it a lot and I watched lots of videos, and then eventually I was able to build my own routines. And now it's no problem. So, you know, you just have to find a way and do at least a little bit. Don't be one of those people that just runs in the gym doing full body exercises 6 days a week with like no breaks or anything, and then yeah, you want to make sure you're utilizing your time efficiently and getting the most out of every workout in order to best meet your goals. And yeah. Okay, that's all for now. I hope you guys have a good rest of your night. Thank you for tuning in and listening to me ramble about stuff. Fitness stuff, specifically that type of stuff. I'm glad to be of assistance. If you guys ever have any other questions, you can like randomly ask me while I'm streaming and I'll try to answer them. High meat diet, good. Make sure to eat lots of meat, take care of yourself, and prosper. Your guys' strength helps the Umarmy grow, and then we can like slowly conquer other countries and stuff. I mean, get them to join us peacefully with guns. Yeah, well, okay, look, it's... Don't worry about the details. Don't worry about the details. Okay, good night, everybody. I'll see you all around. Take care, take care.